Boa. Ei, sai de fora, mão na cabeça. Mão na cabeça. Tá armado aqui? Deita no chão. Você tá armado? Deita no chão. Deita. Deita. Deita.
Like many women, Ana Paula believed she had found the love of her life. She even gave up a stable public sector job with an excellent salary to be with him. Ana Paula moved to a very distant city to live with Lucas, but unfortunately that love was not reciprocated, and Ana Paula became the victim of a brutal crime. Ana Paula Abreu Carneiro was 33 years old and had a life full of achievements. Born in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, she was a speech therapist and passionate about her profession. Graduating in 2017, Ana Paula was also pursuing a master's degree in public policy and management, showing her commitment to education and social impact. In Brasilia, she held a stable public sector job with a good salary and a well-organized routine. She was also a devout Christian, often sharing messages of faith and hope on social media, and an advocate for animal rights. She often posted about environmental causes and her life in Sinop, where she had moved only weeks before the crime. Friends and family described her as cheerful, dedicated, and close to her loved ones, even after relocating to Sinop. On Instagram, her post reflected a woman in love with life, photos from trips, moments with friends, and her daily work as a speech therapist at a local clinic. A post made 4 days before her death on August 20th or 21st, 2025 would tragically stand out. Accompanied by a song she liked, Ana Paula wrote, "You are the reason I smiled again. You are the light that illuminates my life. You are the ladder of my ascent. You are the love of my life. In health, in poverty, in sickness, in joys and in sorrows, I will be by your side." These words, addressed to Lucas, revealed an intense love, but also a trust that would be cruelly betrayed. In another post, Ana Paula vented about the criticism she faced for her decision to leave her hometown. "Many people judged me, said things about me. I went through very serious things that even my family doesn't know. But everything is fine now. I've found a wonderful person," she wrote. The detective in charge of the case suggested that these posts hinted at problems in Ana Paula's relationship that she hadn't shared openly, perhaps out of fear or hope that things would get better. To understand how such an accomplished woman ended up in this tragic situation, we need to go back to the beginning of her story with Lucas. Ana Paula met Lucas França Rodrigues, 22, in December 2024, less than a year before the crime. Lucas, 11 years her junior, was described as a great partner, and Ana Paula shared a passionate but complex relationship with him. The two decided to build a life together, which led Ana Paula to make a radical choice, leaving her public sector job in Brasilia and moving to Sinop, about 310 miles from where Lucas lived. This decision didn't sit well with friends and especially her family, who questioned why she would give up a stable career for a relationship that had just begun.
Então, gente, esse é meu noivo, ó. Meu noivo. Lucas, meu atual noivo, tá? Meu noivo, coisa linda de Jesus. Maravilha da minha vida. Entendeu? Não.
In a post, Ana Paula mentioned that many called her crazy for leaving everything she had built in Brasilia for a boyfriend. In Sinop, the couple settled on Sibiparuna Avenue in the Norte residential neighborhood. Ana Paula quickly found work at a local clinic, continuing her career as a speech therapist. Lucas also posted declarations of love for Ana Paula. However, signs of conflict between the couple began to appear. The police chief revealed that just a day before the crime, Ana Paula and Lucas had argued about eschatology, the theological doctrine that studies the end of times. Lucas, who identified as a Christian, was deeply involved in these studies, while Ana Paula opposed them, which caused friction. Although there were no public records of prior violence in the relationship, the chief suggested Ana Paula was facing problems she kept secret. "I went through very serious things that even my family doesn't know," she said in a video, indicating that her relationship with Lucas was not as perfect as her post suggested. This duality between declared love and hidden tensions culminated in the tragedy on August 24th. On the morning of August 24th, 2025, around 8 a.m., a house on Sibiparuna Avenue became the scene of one of Sinop's most brutal crimes. Ana Paula was fatally stabbed more than 15 times. Some sources report over 20 wounds. The blows struck her neck, torso, abdomen, legs, and arms. The violence was so extreme that blood was scattered across several rooms. Several pieces of furniture were overturned, indicating a fierce struggle. 3 knives were found at the scene and collected by the official forensics and technical identification team for analysis.
Homicídio, né? Múltipla fratura, com arma branca, ferimento de arma branca. Tanto no pescoço, tronco, abdômen, no bolso, nas pernas. Mais ou menos a inspeção ali que a gente, a equipe de SWAT confirmou, cerca de umas 15 a 20 perfurações. E pela análise, na análise do corpo da cena também, a gente estima que tem mais de 2 horas, né? Então, de 2 a cerca de 6 horas. E aí localizamos o suspeito do feminicídio em surto psicótico. Na residência a gente já encontrou diversas facas espalhadas pela residência, inclusive perto da vítima, e conseguimos chegar realmente confirmar o feminicídio, né? A vítima com diversas perfurações de faca. O suspeito reagiu no momento do adentramento da residência, ele não queria ser algemado de forma alguma, foi necessário o uso de arma de energia conduzida, Spark, mas conseguimos fazer a apreensão do mesmo, lá em surto mesmo, tomou alguns remédios que estavam em cima do balcão ali, e não fala coisa com coisa, só disse que é a esposa dele.
The crime was only discovered around 5 p.m. when the police received a desperate call from a relative of Ana Paula living in Brasilia. Lucas had sent photos of her body to his sister and brother, confessing the crime through messages and audio recordings. Ana Paula is dead, he said, in an act that shocked even the most experienced officers. When the police arrived, they found Lucas in an apparent psychotic episode. He refused to surrender and resisted arrest. He ignored orders to lie on the ground, requiring the use of a stun gun to subdue him. Firefighters called to the scene urgently confirmed that Ana Paula was already deceased. The medical examiner who examined the body estimated that the crime occurred about 6 hours earlier, around 8 a.m., suggesting that Lucas stayed with the body for hours before sending messages to the family.
Não sei se é faca, tem cachorro, tá? Ei, sai de fora, mão na cabeça. Mão na cabeça. Vem pra cá. Vem pra cá. Vem. Vai pra lá. Vai pra lá. Só tem você e pra gente. Só tem você? Armado, viu? Deita no chão. Você tá armado? Deita no chão. Deita. 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 Fora que você tá.
The scene was devastating. Blood everywhere, overturned furniture, and Ana Paula's body between the bedroom and the bathroom of a small outbuilding at the back of the house. The violence of the attack, with multiple stab wounds, indicated uncontrolled rage, though the investigation is still determining whether it was premeditated. Lucas confessed to the crime to the police, but his claim of a psychotic episode raised questions. His father, a retired civil police officer, presented a report stating that Lucas had a history of schizophrenia and was undergoing psychiatric treatment. Lucas also mentioned that he had planned to take his own life after the crime, but he did not. The argument about eschatology reported by Lucas is a central point of the investigation, but the lead detective is still trying to determine whether it was the true trigger or just an excuse. The police classified the case as femicide, a heinous crime. The investigation started immediately after Lucas was caught in the act. The 3 knives found at the scene were sent for forensic analysis, along with other evidence such as clothing and objects indicating a struggle. Security camera footage from the neighborhood is being analyzed to confirm the time of the crime and possible movements of Lucas. Lucas's confession, reinforced by the photos he sent to family members, gave the police a solid foundation, but the alleged psychotic episode complicates the case. The defense requested a mental sanity evaluation, which will be crucial to determine whether Lucas fully understood his actions. The report presented by Lucas's father, confirming schizophrenia, is under review, and investigators are seeking medical records to verify the diagnosis. Another point of focus is the history of Ana Paula and Lucas's relationship. Although there were no formal reports of prior violence, the lead detective highlighted that Ana Paula's posts suggested hidden tensions. "I went through very serious things," Ana Paula had said, indicating that the relationship with Lucas may have shown warning signs that were ignored. Police are also investigating whether the argument about eschatology was an isolated incident or part of a pattern of conflicts. On August 25th, Lucas attended a custody hearing. The judge responsible converted the arrest for being caught in the act to preventive detention, citing the severity of the crime and the risk to public safety. Due to the possibility of lynching, Lucas was transferred to a secure prison facility for safety reasons. The investigation is ongoing, with forensic experts working to clarify the details. Ana Paula's case is now in the hands of the justice system, which faces the challenge of balancing the gravity of the femicide with Lucas's claimed psychiatric issues. The preventive detention, ordered on August 25th, ensures that Lucas remains in custody while the investigation progresses. The mental sanity evaluation requested by the defense could determine whether Lucas will be tried as fully responsible or receive a reduced sentence due to mental disorders. The prosecution, led by the police, is building a solid case. Lucas's confession, the photos sent to family members, and forensic evidence, such as the knives and blood traces, point to a brutal crime. However, the argument about eschatology, cited by Lucas as a trigger, raises questions about his intent. The lead detective emphasized that the investigation aims to clarify whether the crime was premeditated or the result of an impulsive act during the argument. The case has also attracted political attention. A lawmaker highlighted the urgency of strengthening protection for women, noting that the region has led the national femicide ranking for the second consecutive year. Another lawmaker advocated for harsher penalties for femicide, using Ana Paula's case as an example of the need for legal reforms. Ana Paula's death shocked the city of Sinop. On social media, friends, colleagues, and even strangers expressed their outrage and sorrow. The public outrage was intensified by Ana Paula's story, a woman who left a promising career for love only to meet death at the hands of the person who promised to protect her. The mayor of Sinop issued an official statement on August 25th, condemning the femicide and linking the case to the Agosto Lilas, Purple August campaign, which raises awareness and prevents domestic violence. Agosto Lilas is a Brazilian awareness campaign held every August to combat domestic violence against women. The U.S. has similar campaigns, though not in the same month or under the same name. For example, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is observed in October, focusing on education, prevention, and support for survivors. Both aim to raise awareness and push for stronger protections, though the timing and branding differ. Ana Paula's family was devastated. Her father, also a retired civil police officer, rushed to Sinop as soon as he learned of the crime. So far, there are no public records regarding Ana Paula's funeral, likely due to the family's privacy or the process of transferring the body to the Forensic Institute and later to Brasilia. On social media, friends shared messages of mourning, highlighting Ana Paula's faith and kindness. Currently, Lucas is held in a penitentiary, awaiting trial. Under Brazilian law, if convicted of all charges, he could face a sentence exceeding 30 years. This assumes he is deemed mentally fit to stand trial as a regular adult. Otherwise, he will be sent to a facility for treatment of his mental condition.